You're home from Mike and Mike in the morning, and we are honored to be joined by Mr. Greenberg. Greeny, I went out of my way. I didn't go for the handshake.
I appreciate it.
The fist bump. We had listeners actually tweeting out #handshake mistake. Am I finally forgiven for shaking your hand?
Yes, you are more than forgiven. It's a pleasure to see you guys. How are you?
Fantastic. And Brady even bowed to you.
That's what you've been calling for.
Let's bring back the bow. To me, the bow, it's been working for centuries. It's a perfectly delightful greeting. It shows respect, and it doesn't exchange germs. As far as I'm concerned, it's a winner.
And it's a great way to see he's unarmed. You know, he bows forward.
That's right.
He's good. Now, first thing first, we got to ask you, Colin Kaepernick rumors that he could potentially be a Jet, or at least wants to be a Jet. You're the biggest, loudest Jets fan we know. Your thoughts on Cap?
Okay, so here's the thing. The only way I can answer that question is if I had information I do not have, and that is, what do the Jets coaches think of Bryce Petty? The Jets used a fourth-round pick on Bryce Petty a year ago. He's a guy that a lot of people thought had, if you were willing to be patient, the makings of a really good quarterback, a guy who could be 3 years down the line a top-flight NFL starter. Well, if indeed that is the case and they feel he is progressing in that direction, I think they have the bridge to him. Fitzpatrick was terrific last year. I am more than happy to come back a year from now and go with Ryan Fitzpatrick. And even if it's 2 more years, I think that's fine. He had a terrific season. He's a good player. So if they believe that Bryce Petty is the future of the organization, then I think they're set the way they are right now. If they don't believe that, then they don't have the future of the organization at quarterback. And if that's the case, then I think Colin Kaepernick feels like a pretty good roll of the dice.
Some mock drafts are calling for Ezekiel Elliott to go to the Jets. Would you like that move?
Yes. I would love it. I think people have this so wrong. This whole notion of not drafting a quarterback in the first round, a running back in the first round, is ridiculous. That's exactly when you should draft a running back, because that's when they have their biggest impact. What you will not do is sign them to a second contract, because these guys get used up. That's what happens to running backs in the NFL. But look at Todd Gurley and some of these guys that come into the NFL, and they make an enormous impact. If you think he has the chance to be that kind of good, then bring him in without question. And the 20th pick in the draft, sure, I don't think they're bringing Chris Ivory back. Right. So all their running backs, I think, actually are free agents. So if you think Elliott is that good, and I loved him in college, absolutely. I love the idea of drafting a running back.
Greeny here with us on Radio Row for 104.5 The Team. You're home from Mike and Mike in the morning. Who wins the Super Bowl?
I think Carolina's going to kill him. Now, bear in mind, I thought New England was going to kill him last week, too. I still don't know how that happened. I think what Denver did was pitch one of the great shutout performances I've ever seen from a defense, to mix a baseball and football analogy.
Right.
I thought that their defense was brilliantly conceived and brilliantly executed, and I don't think anything they did works in this game, because that game was jam the receivers at the line of scrimmage, and on the count of 3, meet me at the quarterback. Well, in this game, the quarterback is Cam Newton, and he isn't going to be standing where they're trying to get. So I think he's the difference. Plus, New England has the worst offensive line maybe ever. Not only can't they run the ball, they don't even bother to try.
Right.
Carolina has run the ball for 100 yards in 31 consecutive games, with their quarterback, of course, leading the way. So they're going to run it. They're going to be balanced. If you play the best defensive game of your life, you're not holding them under 24 points. Now, you show me how Peyton Manning is scoring 25 points against this Carolina defense. I don't see it. I love Peyton Manning. He's one of my favorite players ever. He's one of the greatest players ever. But in my opinion, it's done. The injuries and the age and everything else have taken their toll. I actually think, and I'm not saying I would have the guts to do it if I were the coach, I actually think they would have a better chance with Osweiler playing quarterback this week than they do with Peyton.
Greeny joining us here on Radio Row, and you're keeping some interesting company this year as I look over and see Puppy Monkey Baby.
It's the Puppy Monkey Baby. So everyone loves the Puppy Monkey Baby. I'm working with Kickstart. So Kickstart by Mountain Dew, they have a commercial in the Super Bowl game for the first time in 15 years. And they did some research, and they found that there were 3 things people like in Super Bowl commercials. They like puppies, they like monkeys, and they like babies. And so they thought, well, Kickstart by Mountain Dew has 3 awesome things in it, which are dew, juice, and caffeine. So why don't we combine these 3 awesome things and create the Puppy Monkey Baby? If you go to #Puppy Monkey Baby, you can join the conversation. And if you haven't seen the commercial yet on TV, I think you will really get a kick out of it.
Greenie, my mom is the biggest Greenie fan there is. Her only goal is to meet you. So when are you coming to Albany, New York, so we can make that happen?
Well, I mean, what you doing later today?
She's not in San Fran.
Okay, well, we'll have to try and figure out a way to make that work. What, does she like golf?
She could golf. For you, she would like golf.
Okay, how far are you from Rochester?
Rochester, about 3 hours. If you were there, we could make it in 2.5.
I've gone up there to play golf a couple of times at Oak Hill. It's lovely. And if there's golf courses involved, I'm interested. So if you can make that work, I'll be happy to play golf with Mom.
When she saw your name on our prep for the next day, she started texting him how much she hated him because he got to meet you.
Yeah, she actually said, I hate you.
What is her name?
Jamie.
Hello, Jamie. It is very nice of you to be such a fan. I don't know exactly what it is I've done to deserve this kind of recognition, but I'm very much appreciative of it.
Well, Greenie, we're big fans, too, and thank you so much for being the best sports talk morning show in the Capital Region. As always, you and Mike crushing it.
That's a pleasure to see you guys again. Thank you so much for having me.